So my name is Betsy.
Well, I'm Davide.
My name is Janina.
My name is Martin Sikora.
My name is Anita.
I'm Mateusz.
I'm Silvia Cecconi.
I'm Katrina Willis.
I'm Kasia from Poland.
I'm Ivana Šibalić.
My name is Claudio Nicosia.
My name is Samo Selimovic.
I hope that, well, I'm here to stay more in contact with the partners. This is my most important aim for me, to feel part of a group of people that work together.
I hope that we will strengthen the partnership between all of us here. We have a lot of organizations here because global challenges require global partnerships and global solidarity. So this is my hope. And the highlight of the project so far for me were the teachers that we are working with. Usually these are really women from very small towns and cities in Poland that are motivating their students. They are talking with them about the global challenges, and they are really brave to do that. And with teachers like that, I'm really hoping that the world will be a better place one day.
It's been getting to talk to people, to teachers and to students about the SDGs and migration. Basically, just the objective of the project in general.
I'm Amy McNeil.
I'm Cara Walkden. I'm Grace. I'm an RMPS teacher.
The thing I love about coming to sessions like this is sharing ideas with other teachers.
Helping my pupils understand how they can make an impact and learn more about global issues, particularly through taking action.
If they don't have access to things like this, then they're not putting their learning into action.
I think it's particularly important to try and welcome people from other cultures and try and welcome people of different identities. And if we're not kind of setting our kids up for recognising how that's happened in the past or how that's happened in other countries and what we can do to see that in a positive light and how we can be critical of what we see around them, we're not really creating the best global citizens that we're actually trying to create. So making sure that we're equipped first of all to look at ourselves and think, how are we doing or how are we involved in these values, and before you can actually teach that to young kids as well.
I feel really, really positive about taking the things I've learned so far back to the classroom. There's a lot that isn't just relevant to me, but relevant to other department areas. The pupils are the ones who can make that change. And my role as a facilitator is to help them see how they can do that.
How are you doing? My name's Fraser Gray. I'm a history and modern studies teacher.
I'm Anna Munro from Dingle Academy.
My name's Rosemary O'Leary. I'm Principal Teacher of Learning Support at Ullapool High School.
My name's Ian Richmond and I'm from Invergordon Academy where I teach physics.
I think people with ideas and goals of how to make something better need to start sort of working together more, because in terms of the environment, there's a limited time before it might be too late. And for a lot of people who maybe are migrating and things, it's already too late. So we need to do what we can.
Well, I think young people with their climate change demonstrations recently have shown that sustainability and thinking about the environment and the world in the future is the only thing at the moment. It's not just the main thing, it's the only thing, and everything else stems from that.
I think for a few kids it's this thing of they don't know what other people's have gone through. So there's a lack of understanding because we know very well what our own lives have been like, but we don't know what other people have experienced. We need to be able to make people feel welcome wherever they've come from and wherever they're going to.
I think encouraging kids to be a little bit more critical and actually getting them to open up and partake, the fact that they develop their own skills to actually investigate, ask questions and don't just believe everything that's thrown at them in the first place.
Not just teachers, like everyone has a bit of a duty to sort of learn about these things, and as teachers to kind of pass that on.
To encourage this idea of the global citizenship of looking out for each other and not judging people just based on your preconceived idea of what they are or where they've come from.
So I'm Lewis Groggy. I'm an English teacher here at Charleston. I hope that it would sort of help us engender a more kind of open-minded, a kinder sort of school community. The activity with the sort of taking a step forward, taking on a character, that's quite a powerful sort of visual sort of reminder of the advantages that some people have and the disadvantages that others have.
Hopefully as they go through life they'll realise that people can come from very different places and start to see the world in a different way. We have youngsters just now that go away and work abroad and then come back and they learn from that. But I think the more they realise we live in a global world and it's fast changing, then they're better equipped to meet that.
My name's Trish Matthews. I'm the Adult Learning Coordinator for Sutherland.
Hello, I'm Rory Gallen and I'm here from the organisation Face Rush. We deliver arts and music and Gaelic workshops and teaching throughout Russia and beyond.
My name is Amy Watt. I am the engagement producer for theatre at Eden Court Theatre here in Inverness.
I think not enough people are aware of global citizenship. They're very stuck in their own life and their own place, so they're not thinking about the wider world.
So I think it's always really good to be reminded about stories and the ownership of stories and whose stories they are to tell and whose stories they are to listen to and to learn from.
Definitely the storytelling session with Annie George, that was really good. It just made you think about the power of stories and especially stories of migration. It's made me think a lot more how I can incorporate the SDGs into my teaching and our Changemakers group.
It's got to happen now, and we've got to get people really realising that if we don't get everybody together and start making a difference, it's going to get past the point of being able to do anything. So I think it's having young people really reaching out and putting that message across is going to work much, much better.
Today we've very much been talking about the theme of migration and how the music is a reflection of not only the journey itself but the actual process and the psychological impact of immigration.
I work for Face Rush and I've been working with Highland One World on a Changemakers project. So the next step will be Rudy, who's been leading the project with me. He's travelling to Lampedusa with one of the young people, Mitch, and they're going on a sort of educational journey which will have a compositional element. So that will just continue on when they go to Lampedusa.
When we were listening to the survivors of the boat crash in 2013, kind of just sat there on the floor listening to them, and just suddenly this tune comes into my head. I started writing it down and came up with a nice slow tune to kind of show the emotions I was going through as I was listening to these terrible stories. So I'm hoping to spread the emotions, basically kind of set a tone for what actually happens out there.
It's very difficult. It's been 9 years and a lot of people don't have food, don't have homes, and don't have clothes. Because we've actually lived this experience, and because we feel with those who are still struggling through it, we can use our voices to make a difference. Even though we are now safe in Scotland, the people back in Syria are still constantly on our minds. We will never forget them, and we want to do everything we can to change their circumstances for the better.
Can I just ask what apartheid is?
So apartheid is a system of rules where the government at that point was a white ruling government, and they decided that people of colour, regardless of the ethnicity, if the skin colour was not white, they were classed as lower citizens.
So looking back 3 years ago, a boy who didn't have any qualification in English, it was like didn't know about anything, and see myself now, it's kind of like proud because I achieved so much in so little, and I can't wait like to achieve even more.
The freedom you get when you don't have to think about surviving is completely and utterly amazing.
Hello, we are part of the Caithness Youth Forum. We want people to gain a greater awareness of climate change and the small things that everybody can do to help.
My hopes and dreams as a young person are to go into politics and help other people out with just being able to have the power to help people, basically.
So my hopes and dreams for the future in regards to autistic people is, of course, a lot more awareness and acceptance.
My hopes and dreams for the future is that no one will live with discrimination or be faced with the fear of missing out on a job opportunity or missing out on friendships because of a certain disability or disadvantage they have.
That people learn not to judge before they know someone, and to just automatically treat everyone with kindness and respect. And tying in with that, I wish people would treat everyone, especially strangers, with a certain level of gentleness, because you never know what they're going through.
I hope everyone will accept me for who I am. I've done lots of things that other people without disability have done.
So yeah, there's a lot going on.
3, 2, 1, and we're live.
I'd like to formally welcome you to the first part of this 2-part training.
That's super, Rachel. Thank you so much for the intro, and delighted to be with you as a group today.
And my challenge to you is to go away with a different concept of what it means to be an activist.
How often do you see pictures and videos of thriving communities and healthy landscapes? And why aren't local heroes who do the work year-round being acknowledged in this?
Climate change is still going on in the background. That just because we're worried about coronavirus at the moment doesn't mean someone's pressed pause on climate change.
So we're all experts and we're all leaders and we're all absolutely in this together. So it's a real privilege and a joy to be here.
Challenge your constraints, keep challenging, keep disrupting your thinking, keep finding new ways to think, to create, to think possibilities. Try not to get stuck in a rut with the way that you think or believe life should be.
It's been amazing to have you involved in this project and to think about the changes that you would like to see.
There's 1,200 flags made by young people all over the whole of Scotland, all celebrating the changes that they would like to see, all making pledges to make our world a better place. And we'll leave you this afternoon with the Musicians for Change and the Shores of Lampedusa.